My stream here. Hopefully we're still going. Looks like we are. For the first time since last September, when lava stopped running from Purgashaw, new fissure eruptions started at Rate Janes Peninsula. Confirmed by Eleanor Hjorfson from the Icelandic Met Office, the volcanic eruption taking place at a 100-meter long crack at Meridolier Volcano, about 1.5 kilometers north of Stora Hrut. It appears at first glance to be larger an eruption that occurred in the spring of 2021. Air quality may worsen as a large amount of gas is being released in the atmosphere. And you see this eruption taking place here, guys. I'm not going to show the video. I don't want to get a copyright strike. Yep, kicked off again. Damn it, man. This is getting crazy, guys. This is getting crazy. We're going to go ahead and try to, let's see if, we can, well, it looks like we're back on. So, at least we're back on. If you guys are just now joining me, this is part 2 of Origins from the Stars. Please, everybody, hit that thumbs up, hit the like, and make sure to share this link, get it out there, the way people can find us. Comment, let me know what you think. Follow on all the click that notification bell. And if you will, please donate and support to the channel. It really helps me be able to keep things going, as well as this is, my livelihood and how I take care of myself, those I love. So your financial support is greatly appreciated. It's so crazy, man. To the first part, we were talking about the geopolitical things that were going on, all the military drills. Now we're getting into a lot of this whole climate chaos that's taking place, and we're going to be jumping into the origins of the stars very shortly. So everybody in the chat, please hit that thumbs up. And like I said, share these links, guys. That way people can actually find us. We're really being hidden and shadow banned, to say the least. Comment, let me know what you think about the things that are taking place right now. Your feedback is incredibly important. Your voice is important. You are important. Whether the system wants you to think so or not, you truly are. And this is a time for all of us to really stick together right now, to truly come together and to really look past a lot of the conflict that's going on in the world and use the external influences of these conflicts to go within and really do soul searching and pursue our own individual genuine destiny, because we all have one. We all have a higher calling, a higher purpose, and we need to find our soul family right now too and stick by them. Family isn't always blood, and that's, you can choose who your family is. And if you're a black sheep like me, if you're an outcast like me, then you found the right channel. You definitely belong here. Best Damn Fam is a place for everyone. This is where everyone is accepted and everyone is welcome. No matter your race, your color, your sexual orientation, your religion, or your political points of view. You're all welcome here, and you're all family here, and you're all loved here, and you're all special here. So, please support this community however you can. Whether that's by sharing it out there, just showing love, hitting a thumbs up, commenting and engaging, or if you can, giving a few dollars and helping keeping us going. So, all YouTube channels are down. Well, it looks like we got them back up. So, but and that's crazy how all 3 YouTube channels go down simultaneously. You can't tell me that there's not something off about that something's up when that shit doing that, especially when Twitch and Facebook and all that continue. Bible canon comes from cuneiform. Read the Lost Book of Enki. I've read the Lost Book of Enki a million times and done about 1 billion shows on it. I love the Lost Book of Enki. So, but it looks like we're on YouTube. But see, that's what they do whenever we start to get a lot of people in the chat. They kick us off. That way we can't build momentum and be suggested to other people on YouTube. It's really shitty. Crazy great cars in parts of Alberta and terrifying video and pictures. I mean, look how big this hail is. Pretty crazy. Following a string of intense weather events taking place in Alberta over the last month, central and southern parts of the province were the latest to get hit with massive hail the size of a grapefruit, which caused a lot of damage to cars in the process. And look at that car. It got fucked up by a lot of that hail. You can see all the dents there. Another video shows people inside a car trying to protect themselves from the giant hail exploding the windows of their car. Wow. Wow.
Put the backpack on your left.
They are definitely scared shitless. Yeah, wow. Crazy, man. Crazy. Yeah. The Schumann is off. Well, you know what? The Schumann is a reflection of the conscious jump and expansion too, so it reflects human consciousness and these big spikes that we have as far as that goes too. Wow. You guys see the windows literally getting knocked out. That is crazy. And for whatever reason, Twitter's not acting right either. So, gosh, guys, this is annoying. I need to get some upgraded equipment here. So, gigantic 82 foot wide, 650 deep, 60 feet deep sinkhole appears near a small town in Chile. Look at this sinkhole, right? And this is all a result of crustal displacement, too. All those gases that are coming out of the volcanic eruption, the hail as a result of, the cyclical flow of condensation, which we see the auroras all over. That's all part of the gas from crustal displacement as well. The magnetic field, in the way that it fluctuates, changing the weather patterns, causing this extreme variety of weather in all different locations of the world. And then, of course, the energy from the sun being so active and the fluctuations in the magnetic field because of us being so close to that reversal in the weakening of the field. All that radiation and cosmic rays, which is essentially plasma. It's energy. It's entering in and it's coming back out through the crust by heating and expanding the crust, releasing gases like sulfur, carbon, and methane, which essentially creates a greenhouse gas effect, trapping more gases at the top of the ionosphere, which I told you I believe that meteors and comets and asteroids are just concentrated gases actually falling back down to Earth, returning back to their form of, the base minerals and metals and stuff that they were actually made out of, or the gases they were made out of. And that's why comets and stuff burn particular colors, because of the gases that are burning through them. They're not all balls of ice, right? Or they wouldn't burn green, yellow, and red and those different colors. That's gas that's burning. So, and this is the crust that's displacing because it's getting ready to shift, right? As the magnetics fluctuate and the field weakens, it's like a tilling of the soil. In the Bible, I believe, when it talks about the earth being turned over, if you look at the etymology of the word, it literally means to till the soil. So to go from underneath and till it, to the top, so that type of turnover. Not the earth flipping upside down, but land masses rising and falling. More like what Nostradamus said. An enormous sinkhole linked to a copper mine, a northern Chilean copper mine, which copper is extremely conductive to electricity, go figure, right? Which materialized this weekend, has been captured in stunning new images. The 82-foot wide hole mysteriously appeared Saturday in the commune of Tierra Amarilla in the Aztecama region, close to the giant Acaparosa mine, and it is thought to be more than 650 feet deep. Chilean media released aerial images of the strange phenomena, which took place on land operated by Canadian Loudon Mining Copper Mine, about 413 miles north of the capital, Santiago. Local Mayor Crystal Zuniga on Sunday confirmed the presence of the sinkhole, which is located on the outskirts of town, and spoke of the fear held by nearby residents that excessive mining in the area could have catastrophic consequences. And look at that, guys. Wow. Chilean authorities investigate a large sinkhole. Look how huge that fucking sinkhole is. You know, it looks like if you jumped in it, you would fall straight to hell. You know, for real. Or fall out the other side. Who knows? You might fall into another dimension. There's no telling what's on the other side of planet Earth. I don't know. I thought something quite bad would happen for the sky to roll over. I thought the Earth was going to wobble like a drunkard. Well, you know what? There is perturbation that's taking place. It's said right now that that's why we see the 13th constellation of Fucus, because the Earth is tilted. Okay, and we know that the Earth, according to science, is slowing down and that it is wobbling, according to science, on its axis. It might be a slight variation of what the norm is, but scientifically speaking, it is. Okay, so that actually is happening. And there is also a bulge around the equator, and that bulge is created from basically the expansion of the continents, right? So there is a pressure that's being put on the Earth through the poles. The poles are like electrical sockets on the Earth. So positive and negative poles, they allow the flow of electricity to flow through the Earth for the magnetic field to actually surround the Earth the way that it does. And the more cosmic rays and radiation that we take on through each of these cycles and magnetic reversals, the bigger that bulge gets in the center of the Earth around the equator. So the tropical zone is widening. The bulge around the equator is widening. That lets you know that we're taking on more and more radiation and particles from space right now. You know, so that's a giant indicator of that. And yes, in Isaiah in the Bible it says the Earth will wobble to and fro like a drunkard. Just give it time. We're just now getting to the place of instability in the magnetic field. The 40-degree zone is just where it starts to destabilize. So that's why we're seeing the wild fluctuations the way that we are. We haven't seen nothing yet, baby, is what I'm saying. Okay? Give us about a year or so. By 2024, we probably won't recognize this bitch. Straight up. And that's why we're seeing, you know, pink and red skies and all of that. As the sun, you know, burns its hydrogen from probably a dwarf star that's, you know, sucking all of it out of there. Or satellites around that star in the form of like stellar cores and things of that nature that are sucking all of it out of there. It's burning helium, so that's what's creating the pink skies. Okay, and then we have the iron ore, iron oxide, creating the orange dust. So just saying, there's still a lot more to happen. It doesn't happen like what you think, you know. And Nostradamus says that a mountain will be thrown into the sea, causing land masses to rise and fall. So Nostradamus basically is saying like either A, you know, a massive volcanic eruption kind of, you know, in the ocean triggers all of this, which I believe that's not what he was saying. I believe he's talking about an asteroid impacting, and that kind of being what jars everything loose. You know, if there was a large asteroid impact in the ocean, think about the Juan de Fuca plate in the Pacific Northwest kind of hanging on by a thread. You know, it would cause plate slippage, which would trigger volcanic eruptions and tidal waves everywhere, which if you had that type of energy flying around, think about all of, you know, the tornadoes and cyclones and lightning storms and just everything. All the volcanoes in the world would start to erupt, and that would cause all of the plates to start to shift, which would actually trigger the land masses rising and falling too. So, I mean, you know, and this could even be as a result of a giant solar flare event, you know, some just massive discharge of energy that completely devastates the magnetic field, leaving us essentially butt naked to radiation. It also talks about people having sores on their skin during the last days, and I believe it's all due to radiation poisoning. If you think about the star named Wormwood, which Chernobyl is another word for wormwood as well, right? Wormwood is bitter or radioactive, right? So the waters turned wormwood. Everybody who drank the water became sick or died, right? And you see this also in the Colburn Bible, which was written on brass, and that's pre-flood by the Egyptians. It's kind of the Egyptian, the Egyptian tale of Exodus, right? And it's kind of the Akhenaten version of that story, and it talks about the Prince of Egypt having to flee and parting the Red Sea, and how he was chased, and the people wanted him to be killed because of his God, and that he disobeyed their gods, which that's a whole nother story. I do believe Moses was Akhenaten, so and him worshiping the Aten, or the monotheism, the father of monotheism, Moses also being the father of monotheism, that they were worshiping the same thing, which would be the Saturn sun, right? Or the disc, which the disc jockey, it's Saturn with its rings, right? Flash flood, close roads in Death Valley National Park, while more than 35 people died in Kentucky floods and hundreds are still missing. Look at that, dude. Some roads in and out of Death Valley National Park have been closed after they were inundated over the weekend with mud and debris, with flash floods that also hit western Nevada and northern Arizona hard. And think about the Adam and Eve story, the CIA redacted file. We just did a show the other day and read some of that, and it talks about in the magnetic reversal how there would be flooding and inundation and sea level rise, terrible wind, all of that, right? And we're already seeing little bits and pieces of that everywhere as we see the world militaries gearing up with these drills for global conflict. So go figure. There's another look right there, right? Officials on Sunday provided no estimate on when the roads around Death Valley would be reopened. Motorists were also urged to avoid Southern California's Mojave National Preserve after flooding buckled pavement on some roads. The rain also prompted closures on highways and campgrounds elsewhere, but no injuries were reported. There's some more pictures of the flooding. The storms produced torrential downpours. The National Weather Service reported that more than an inch of rain fell in 15 minutes Sunday near Kingman, Arizona, which is close to the state line with California. And Kentucky flooding death toll rises to 35. As governor says, hundreds remain unaccounted for. Death toll in flood-stricken Kentucky has risen to 35. Governor Andy Beshear on Monday afternoon, as rescue workers continue to comb the region for hundreds of missing people unable to access areas left isolated after floodwater washed away bridges and inundated communities. And and you can see there's Kentucky right there, devastating Kentucky. And somebody asked me, why would there be motivation for, let's say, man-made weather attacks on Kentucky? And just like, the federal government's letters to shut down all the private farmers in Nebraska, telling them that if they didn't sell their farms and have them mowed down, that the government would use Agent Orange, to knock them down for them, right? And they bought them back for like double the price and basically told them not to grow anything. Same thing with people who own crude oil. They were just dumping it on dirt roads and all that shit. As a lot of the cargo and supply was just being halted in the oceans and shit. It was all being blamed on conflict with Iran back then, I believe. Kentucky has a lot of farming there as well, right? And there's a lot of mountainous terrain and people that are independent of the system. Okay, so you have to understand, even those tornadoes that hit Kentucky last year, on my TikTok, I have a video, showing what looks like microwave signals, on the radar. So go look at my TikTok. It's, I believe it's at the Best Damn Podcast or Best Damn Podcast Official. You'll see it. I got a couple thousand followers on there. Nothing special, but I post on TikTok too. It says, I've lived in this town for 56 years. I've never seen the water of this nature. It was just devastating to all our businesses, all of our offices. And if you go into the About section, guys, here on the YouTube channel, then you can find the link to my TikTok, Twitch, DLive, all of it. It's in the About section on on all the YouTube channels, actually. Mysterious metallic orb emblazoned with a secret code falls on Mexico. May contain valuable information. Should I go here yet? Should we go here? Hold on. One more before we go there. All right. Sea level rise expected to worsen coastal flooding, even on a sunny days, according to the new NOAA report. And see, this is what I'm talking about. Sea level rise and all this shit, man. This is like legit. People better get used to it, because this really is signs of the magnetic shift. Okay, these are the early signs, and they look severe and extreme to us now, but you have no fucking idea what they will look like in just a year from now, as opposed to 2 years from now. All right. And if we think back to 2016 and the things that were going on then, we thought that was extreme. Same thing 2017, 2018. We thought that was intense, did we not? And now look at us. A few years later, we're like, damn, I would take 2017 any fucking day, right? Because it's way weaker than what we're experiencing now. And that's on multiple levels, man. That's on multiple levels. So, we really got to keep our heads up too, and keep our heads on a swivel, because just to keep it real, guys, like right now is the time for people like ourselves to really prepare. We need to prepare, because there's a lot to prepare for, a lot that's heading down the pipe, man. Okay, a lot that's coming our way that we need to be mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically prepared for. That's why I really think like it's really important to have a partner at this time, and not and somebody that you can rely on, right? This is why when I look for like a girlfriend or a mate or whatever, right? Like, I don't just look for somebody that looks good. I want someone who's smart, someone that I can depend on, someone, you know what I mean? I want someone that when everything hits the fan, like, we're good type of shit. Like, and, if you have a family unit, whatever, right? It's good to have plans on like where you'll meet if the power goes down. To have alternate escape routes on if there were an invasion by a foreign enemy, to have food stored up, water stored up, those kind of things, and to have them put in multiple places too, have multiple escape routes, multiple options. What do we do in an earthquake? What do we do in a flood? Where is the closest mountain range to us to get to high ground? Those kind of things. And if you don't know those things, and I even went as far, I was an extreme prepper, when I first started all of this. And I still have a bug out bag that probably smoke anybody And I even, I've studied stealth camping and all kinds of shit. But I think if we really had our heads on straight, we would all be prepared for the things that are possible. And it's just like, it's not being driven by fear either. It's like, for lack of knowledge, surely my people will perish. So it's like just knowing your shit and knowing how to take care of yourself and to be adaptive in all situations. Make sure you and your family are on the same page. Make sure you and your significant other are on the same page. That was part of the reason why some of my relationships in the past didn't work out. It's like, I tried to date normies, and nothing against the normie. I love them. But you can't be with a person like me and and be totally conformed, right, and indoctrinated. It just doesn't work. So, like, I need somebody. I don't care if you're still working towards your 401k or not. That's cool by me, But, like, you gotta at least understand the real life scenarios that are going on, and have a mind to survive, right? And, like, for our children, our children's children, like, we need to try to make it through this, or else what's the point of learning the lessons of this cycle if we're not here in the next? You know what I'm saying? And there's a reason they keep all of us in the dark, sitting up here on the surface while they have deep underground military bases. They don't have to do the work of all that depopulation shit. They just got to let nature take care of us. If anybody had any sense, they wouldn't be within 200 miles of the coast. If anybody had any sense, they would be way above sea level if they could. They'd move inland, to the Appalachians or, Missouri, Tennessee, Kentucky, places like that, right? In the mountains. Arizona, they say, is a good place as well. New Mexico. But I see some, problems volcanically in those areas that could be something to deal with. So we'll see, especially New Mexico. But we'll see. You have freeze-dried food and a taser. That's so funny. The taser, yeah, well, yeah, you got to defend yourself. But dry goods, ways to preserve and filter water. This year, before I moved from Maryland, I started a garden, things like that, man. Learning how to grow your own food, learning how to give yourself stitches and clean wounds, and, just a lot of that stuff, guys. These are things that everybody used to know before we all became so critically dependent upon the system, They said Wisconsin will flood and be underwater. Well, Wisconsin was where the last glacial period started. So the last ice age started in Wisconsin. So I don't know what it's going to be like this time. I used to research not only flood maps, which I have flood maps. I can show you guys some. If you want to see where your area is at, just let me know in the chat. I'll pull up a flood map. But I also study geological maps that show what type of rock we're actually living on, because you have to understand that as the ionosphere, thins and shit, and more cosmic rays hit, and the sun gets more active, and especially if like a super big comet or something with a highly ionized tail goes past, that plasma charges the magnetic field and starts to strike back downward. Right? So I think the Grand Canyon was created from a large plasma strike. So you have to understand what type of rock you're standing on too, and how highly conductive it is. Notice that large sinkhole was at a copper mine, right? That copper is incredibly conducive to electricity, is it not? You see what I'm saying? You use copper wire for electricity, and it's got a giant fucking sinkhole there. Put two and two together. Even looking at the weather, these cyclones, cyclonic energy, that's a vortex, that's electrical. It's all about energy and how energy flows. So, just saying, man. And you got to understand that. And basalt is, very good to keep you safe from electricity. You don't want to be on limestone and shit that's real soft. You want to be bedrock. You want it to be new bedrock, not old. These kind of things.
And inside the hurricane. In the center of the hurricane, as pressure falls, water levels rise, all the water piling up while it's still over the open ocean water. As the hurricane closes in on land, the strong winds push that water toward the coast. It has nowhere left to go but up and inland, sometimes as high as 20 feet. Now, say you're inside a home at the coast. This is what it may look like. The water approaching quickly and viciously, entering your home and climbing up the walls. In Sandy, homes filled with water quickly reaching 8 to 9 feet inside the house.
Yeah, think about that. That would suck. The effects of sea level rise on coastal communities is even more drastic than scientists previously thought. with more evidence pointing to increase in flooding, even on days without rain, according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. High tide flooding, or sunny day flooding, is becoming increasingly common due to decades of sea level rise, NOAA said in its update to its sea level rise report released Tuesday. The type of flooding results from the overflow of ocean water at high tide, then covers low-lying areas, typically occurring when tides reach anywhere to 1.75 to 2 feet above the daily average. The water then spills onto streets or bubbles up from storm drains and will do so more regularly even with a mere full moon or change in prevailing winds or currents. Think about that. We're getting fucking inundation of winds and all this stuff, and they're saying with just a little change in winds or a full moon, this will happen. You know, so yeah, pay attention, fam. 2022 Sea Level Rise Technical Report, and you can actually see the technical report right here. I'd like to be able to drop this into the chat or go through this. Maybe I should wait and we'll do a video on the sea level rise another day. But, you know, it's real. And then look, Earth's magnetic field, the magnetosphere collapsed horrifically 550 million years ago. I don't think so. I think this happens about every 300 to 400 years. And that's truth. You know, that's how I feel about it. Nearly 550, and you know what? If you look at geological data and the soil records, it shows that I'm probably right. So just saying. You don't have to believe everything I say on this channel. You don't have to go along with every one of my theories, thoughts, and opinions. But it's looking more and more each day like the whole gradualism shit is just nonsense, okay? So things happening incrementally over millions of years just isn't true. It's just not. It's not true. The standard model of the solar system just isn't true, you know? General relativity is partly true. Evolution is partly true. You know, creationism, partly true. I mean, all of it is just like half-truths. All truths are but half-truths. So, you got to keep that in mind. And that all of it is connected, you know. Our Earth is the only planet in the solar system where life exists, and the reason behind it is Earth's magnetic field that acts as a protective shield against the solar wind. However, things were not always the same. Scientists and researchers have discovered a shocking fact about it. According to John Tordurno, a professor of geophysics at the University of Rochester in New York, our Earth's magnetosphere was on the verge of complete collapse before the introduction of multicellular life on our planet. In effect, it means that there would not have been life in the form as we know it on Earth today. The study revealed that our planet had experienced an almost complete collapse of its magnetic field in the early Cambrian period. Shockingly, it too a period of about 15 million years for it to get restored. Right before the inner core started to grow, the magnetic field was at the point of collapse, but as soon as the inner core started to grow, the field was regenerated. The thought, the cause of the collapse, and the restoration of the field is still a mystery. The study suggests that the Earth restored its magnetic field due to the large amount of molten iron swirling around 2,800 kilometers below the Earth's surface. The magnetic field is invisible, but it shields the planet from the stream of sun's radiation known as solar wind. And what is that planet, guys? That there's two giant pieces of a planet that crashed into the Earth. It starts with a T. Theta is the name of it. I believe the name is Theta, is the name of the planet. And there are two giant blobs, they say, that are within the Earth's crust, you know, as a result of this collision that happened, you know, historically. And we know that Nemesis, Planet X, whatever, you know, is got the iron ore dust or iron oxide burning off of it. So maybe it's the iron that actually restores it. So who knows, right? Tiamat? No, it's not Tiamat. Tiamat comes from Cthulhu's mythos as well as Sumerian mythos. But it's called, I think it's called Theta. Something like that is the name of the planet. It starts with a T. It's not Tiamat, though. It's not Tiamat. It's not Tiamat. Do I gotta pull it up? God damn it. What is the name of the planet that hit the Earth? Here, let's pull it up and I'll tell you what the name of the planet is. It's not Tiamat, though, guys. I know I talk about Tiamat all the time, so everybody's like, Tiamat! No, I think it's called Theta, planet. It's the name of a goddess, too. Let's see here. Is it Theta? Thea. Ancient planet. Yeah. I believe it's Thea. There might be remnants of an ancient planet buried inside the Earth. Yeah, this is it, guys. Here we go. We'll pull it up. And the giant impact. Yeah, it's Thea. Compared to the moon, there is much less known about Thea. The moon is there, yet have samples. People have been there. Few people care about the impactor. And a lot of the work around the giant impact hypothesis involves comparing isotopes found on the moon with those found on Earth. The similarities in composition suggest that the moon is made of a hunk of ancient Earth, meaning something like a giant impact knocked it off our pale blue dot. Original models estimated that the impactor, Thea, was about the size of Mars, half the size of Earth today. Though some recent studies suggest it might have been more like 4 times the size of Mars, or roughly the size of the proto-Earth. Either way, most researchers agree that the core, the densest part of Thea, merged with the core of Earth incredibly quickly after the impact, in a matter of hours. Yeah, so it's Thea. Thea is the name of the planet that collided with the Earth. Told you guys it wasn't Tiamat. Tiamat sounds, I believe Earth is Tiamat, by the way. Okay? So, technically, it's like kind of one and the same, right? But I believe Earth is Tiamat. And what's left of Earth, we are Thea. We're the pieces that are left, really, and this is probably why. Asteroid whizzes past Earth in close encounter. NASA. An asteroid nearly the size of an aeroplane just whizzed past Earth yesterday, August 2nd. Although it didn't collide with the Earth, it passed close enough to Earth to attract attention from NASA. Nice little image there. On Wednesday, a giant fireball was seen and heard across the Mississippi, while locals were left wondering whether they saw an alien ship or an asteroid. NASA tells us the truth. Well, that would be a fucking first, wouldn't it? According to sky.org, it has a maximum distance of 380 million kilometers away from the sun. On the other hand, its distance from the Earth was just 2.74 million kilometers, equivalent to 0.02 astronomical units. An AU is basically a unit length of equal or average or mean distance between Earth and the sun. The report says that the asteroid 2022 OX3 flew past Earth on August the 2nd at 1845, a distance of 2.74 million kilometers and a speed of 16 kilometers per second. Although NASA has stated that the asteroid didn't pose any viable threat to the Earth, it was still classified as a PHA due to its close proximity of its encounter with the Earth. And you know what, guys? This is one of a lot more, and think about it too. This September, next month, we have the DART mission where we're literally supposed to make impact with the asteroid that we're trying to deflect. DART is a double asteroid redirection test, where they try to launch a tin can into space to knock a giant fucking space rock with a moon. And just like, Nemesis and all of the, and I pointed this out, we did all of the asteroid impact scenarios on this channel over the years. 2021 PDC, 2022 TTX, all the world scenarios, the aftermath scenarios, the hypothetical impact scenarios, we've done them all, right? And Didymus and Dimorphos, which is, a giant asteroid with its own moon, a binary companion asteroid, and where they literally did hypothetical impact scenarios with asteroid Apophis, which is incredibly significant too. We know that the Revelations 12 prophecy, when it talks about the next sign, it says an enormous red dragon, and the dragon meaning fabulous kind of serpent, and the god of chaos and darkness is a serpent, which is named Apophis, and it was marked with the number 99942. Which is 9 completion in numerology, 42 months, the final 42 months of the 7-year tribulation, because it passed on the approximate 1,260 days from the great sign in heaven that took place September 23rd, 2017, where we had the sign of Virgo with the constellation of Leo, with Mars, Venus, and Mercury in conjunction with the sun over her shoulders and the moon under her feet, and the child that would be born, the male child that'll rule the nations with an iron rod or an iron scepter, the king planet, Jupiter, in the womb for the gestation of 42 weeks or 9 months. But I guess it's all, just a coinky-dink, right? China to use the moon to destroy incoming dangerous asteroids. Check strange plan. Chinese researchers have proposed a plan to use the moon to protect Earth from potential terror of dangerous asteroids, and here's how. What if the asteroids deviate from their usual path and directly strike Earth at lightning speed? Will it wipe out a city, or will it be the end of the planet? The concerns around these giant space rocks keep scientists working to detect the potential risk from the upcoming asteroid. What? To detect the potential risk from the upcoming asteroid. Is that a Freudian slip? Well, scientists from China have just revealed their plan to protect us from the strike of an asteroid to Earth. The surprising part is that China plans to use the moon as a protective shield against asteroids. And I'm all for that, except the fact that the Cobran says that a new moon will appear in the sky before being broken into pieces at the coming of the destroyer, which I just got a synchronicity a couple of days ago telling me to talk about the dream. So my next video, I am going to share a series of dreams and visions that I've had pertaining to what I believe are impending events or upcoming events that are incredibly significant. And it's going to be one video where I go through each and every dream. I've written a lot of these down, and I'm going to share them all in just one video and share all my visions with you guys because Spirit told me to. So I guess that's what we'll be doing tomorrow. But you can see here, mentioned in a study published by the Chinese peer-reviewed journal Science, the new project includes arranging 3 Guardian satellites carrying loads of fuel and kinetic weapons onto the moon's orbit around the Earth. Can the moon really protect us? The plan laid out by the Chinese scientists also includes 2 optical telescopes that will be built on the south and north poles to keep an eye on the space around them from any potential threats. So, I mean, hey, they're going to use the moon to try and, keep anything from striking the Earth. I don't know about you guys, but I think the moon would do a good job, but who knows, right? Who knows? Maybe not. It'd probably miss the fucking moon. Or the moon would, slingshot it faster at us or some shit like that. That would be our luck here on planet Earth. But whatever, right? It's just an asteroid impact. Who cares? If it hits, we'll never know the difference anyways. Or at least I don't think we would. Depending on where you're located. And it's not like we haven't survived these things before. Okay, hold on. Let me delete something here. Okay. Sorry, guys. Make some room for something right here. Make some room for something right here as I'm recording this show. All right, we're going to pick back up recording here. All right, cool. Good to go. Sorry, y'all. I apologize for the delay. Let me bring back up the chat. Everybody in the chat, make sure to hit that thumbs up, man. It really does help me a lot if you're in the chat and you're hitting that thumbs up and hitting the like button for me. Also, guys, make sure to share this link, whatever social media site you're watching it from. If you belong to Facebook groups or, whatever, on Twitter, retweet it, whatever. Make sure to share it, get it out there for me. And subscribe. Follow on all the different platforms. The links are in the description. They're also in the About section on the YouTube channels. So follow us, subscribe, click the bell to get the notifications, and consider donating and supporting to the channel. Without your financial support, we just can't keep it going. This is how we do it. This is how I do it. And this is how, I take care of myself. This is also my livelihood. So if you get something from this, consider donating and supporting. And you can get access to our private videos and so much more. You text the number below, book a tarot reading, whatever. All right, keep it moving here. Keep it moving. Looking forward to that. What? You're looking forward to the dreams and vision ones? Yeah, guys, I'll tell you what, I don't share a lot of that shit with people. I've talked about it and I've brought it up, but that's the reason I started this channel. Was a dream. So, the stuff is incredibly important to me. I believe in those kind of things. And I believe in, signs and synchronicities. And, I'm incredibly guided by spirit. That's what I allow to guide me. You can call it the masters or whatever you want to call it. But there are spiritual elements that exist outside of, the body. Different forms of consciousness, and they're not all bad, and a lot of them have guided me to a lot of crazy revelations, and, I believe in God, and I listen to spirit. That's what I use to guide me through my videos into all my information and knowledge. That's what I use for my intuition during tarot readings. That's what I believe is in control of celestial phenomena, astrological placements, all of it. Even geometry has a spiritual aspect to me. So, yeah. Make sure to hit that thumbs up. Mysterious metallic orb emblazoned with secret code falls on Mexico. May contain valuable information. This is a strange one, isn't it? This is a strange one. Just 3 weeks after a mysterious pillar of light appeared in the sky over Veracruz, a prominent meteorologist says that a bizarre metal orb, emblazoned with a secret code, perhaps containing valuable information inside, fell from the sky onto a tree in Veracruz, Mexico, just before midnight Sunday night. The meteorologist Isidro Cano Luna called on the Mexican Navy to study the orb. And you can see the picture of the orb right there. It looks more like a piece of fucking technology, man. Just saying. Luna, a television meteorologist whose catchphrase is "weather is also news," and always types in capital letters, wrote that I type in capitals. Also wrote that metallic sphere fell on top of a tree at 10 p.m. in Lomas del Rio Medio neighborhood in Veracruz, a city of 600,000 people on the Gulf of Mexico in the southeast corner of the country. The Gulf of Mexico makes it interesting. That's been a place where there's been particular country submarines that have been allegedly spotted. So, who knows? Maybe it's a piece of military equipment or something like that. Just saying. Take a look right here. You can see it. You guys decide for yourself what you think it is. I have no fucking clue. Right here. That's the important piece of technology that allegedly came from space. It's some type of satellite. Very strange indeed. Let's go back here. Okay, well, meteorologist found this. He has no fucking clue what it is. In a series of these 3 Facebook posts, Luna speculated it appears to be made of a very hard plastic or an alloy of various metals. Apparently, it has an antenna. So I don't think E.T. made it. He said that people who saw it falling from the sky said it emitted a sound but no fire. He speculated that it could be part of a Chinese rocket that crashed into Earth over the weekend. Personal suggestion, do not touch it or get close to it until it's reviewed by specialists. It may be radioactive. What? The story got far more interesting an hour later in his second post. Following up on the metallic sphere that fell on top of a tree, Luna wrote, it should not be opened or tried to be opened. A specialized team at the Secretary of the Navy of Mexico and or Secretary of National Defense needs to collect it and turn it in for special study. On the outside of the sphere there is a code, but no hole or slit through which it could be opened. These spheres have a timing mechanism that at a certain time they open by themselves and show the valuable information they have inside. Yeah, I wonder if it's got like a gyroscope or something and it's controlled, remotely through magnetics and it's like a fucking explosive device. What an idiot trying to open it. It appears to have an antenna on it and a code on the side. Yeah, it's probably a serial number, asshat. Chances of Earth-directed flares. Growing sunspots. AR3068 developed a beta-gamma magnetic field that harbors energy of M-class flares. Explosions today will be geo-effective because the sunspot is almost directly facing Earth. Giant solar prominence. There's a loop of plasma on the sun's eastern limb so large that normal scientific notation doesn't describe it. It's ginormous. Wow. And you can see right there, it is ginormous, if that's indeed a genuine picture from the sun. The arch is 325,000 kilometers long, almost the distance between Earth and the moon. These dimensions make it an easy target for backyard solar telescopes. If you have one, don't wait. The right foot of the structure is increasingly unstable, and the whole thing could collapse at any moment. Wow. That's 325,000 kilometers long, that electrical arc or plasma arc. We see. How about that? How about that? Our summer skies are finally getting dark enough to see the Milky Way again. Yeah, and you see all that red in the sky there, guys. That's what I'm talking about, of the hydrogen and helium and all that that's burning. That's probably a result of our star. Let's also take a look here on... This is the August 3rd network reported 52 fireballs. You can see the orbital diagram of these fireballs, 52 of them. August 4th, there were 2,291 potentially hazardous asteroids reported. We see one, which is 2022 OG1 within 4.6 lunar distances, 12 diameters wide. The biggest one I see here, 173 diameters wide. We have 224, which is 2022 OE2, August 4th. That's the one we were talking about the other day. So yeah, there's that on the space side of things. Keep it moving forward here. Let's close some of this shit out too. Let's jump to the good stuff, why don't we? Let's jump to the good stuff. We're going to go to the Blue Star Kachina prophecy first. Why, you may ask? Because I've got a lot. Hey, John, hope that spider bite is getting better. Yeah, it's improving. I've still got a pretty nasty infection. I ain't going to lie. But I can bend my finger a little bit again, which is always a positive. My hand was so fat I couldn't even bend my finger, and like my whole hand was swollen. So I'm trying to like keep it elevated and just keep it clean, and shit like that. And I hate spider bites. I've had a million of them living in Ohio. I've been bit by brown recluse like 3 or 4 separate times. It sucks. They have the nastiest bite, and Whenever they bite you, their poison literally eats the flesh from inside the bite, out. So it leaves like a gaping hole in the wound. I've been bit on the back of the neck, the Achilles heel. Now I've been bit on my finger. So that sucks. That sucks. But it is what it is. Here we go. Let's move. First. Okay, now we're going to talk first about the signs. Okay? These are the signs that the Hopi give of the end of times. And we're going to go through a bunch of different astrological things and civilizations here. So this is my favorite part here. The Hopi prophecy speaks of twin Kachinas, white and blue twin, or the merging of self, twin pyramids, DNA, twin towers falling, the two becoming one. Brown recluse are wicked. Yes, they really are wicked. And what's crazy about it, I don't know if I want to say it. I'll include this in the dream tomorrow, the dream video. But I had a dream about something one time and then got bit by a spider. This is the first sign. And sure enough, did they kick me off the air again? Okay, I think we're still going. Alright, I'm about to say. This is the first sign. We were told of the coming of the white-skinned men, like Pahana, but not living like Pahana. Men who took the land that was not theirs and who struck their enemies with thunder or guns. Thunder could also be sound, guys. Right? So it could be someone using directed energy, because in essence, directed energy waves are the manipulation of frequency or vibrations, the manipulation of sound. That's why they have pain rays and heat rays and all of that shit, right? A heat ray is essentially, with microwaves, they're making the water molecules rotate in your body, generating heat. Right? Or creating high-pitched frequencies of sound that hurt your ears. All right? So the thunder could be sound. We know lightning and thunder. Lightning is light, electricity, and thunder is sound. All right? This is the second sign. Our lands will see the coming of spinning wheels filled with voices. Covered wagons, spinning wheels filled with voices. These could be what we would call, orbs, right? Filled with voices. Something else, with sound. This is satellites, perhaps. Spinning wheels filled with voices. This could be satellites. This could be orbs. This could be, extraterrestrial aircraft. This could be a lot of things, guys. Which reminds me, I want to pull up this website that I didn't get to cover yesterday, the Zeta stuff. So okay, yeah, we're gonna pull up these right here. I didn't get to cover them yesterday, and there's pole shift and all that in this too. We'll try to fit this in as we move forward. All right. Where am I at? Right here. Alright. The third sign, a strange beast, this is hard to see. A strange beast like a buffalo, but with great long horns, will overrun the land in large numbers. A strange beast like a buffalo with great long horns will overrun the land in large numbers. This reminds me of like a Satan, actually, right? If you think about a beast like a buffalo with large horns, so it could be talking about, literal spiritual type of beast, extraterrestrials or, demons, in essence. So I'm just trying to look at this from a different perspective, okay? The fourth sign, the land will be crossed by snakes of iron. Snakes of iron. And remember, the iron mixed with miry clay, right? Saturn turning iron into gold in Quatrain 944 from Nostradamus. Iron representing graphene oxide, snakes of iron. Okay, so snakes as in serpent or kundalini energy, which is DNA or genetics. Triple helix. Let's kind of think of this outside of the box. You know what I mean? It really could be something totally different than what, they're putting down here. The fifth sign, the land shall be crisscrossed by giant spider's web. They say powered telephone lines. I say the World Wide Web, right? The World Wide Web, the internet, the web of consciousness. It's a grid. It's an ethereal grid that traps consciousness, in my opinion. Okay? Which is also, satellites and radio frequency and millimeter wave and all of that good stuff. But essentially the internet. The sixth sign, the land shall be crisscrossed with rivers of stone that make pictures in the sun. Rivers of stone that make pictures in the sun. I'm not exactly sure what that would be, guys, but there it is either way. You will hear of the sea turning black and many living things dying because of it. They say oil spills, but you could also think of this as like the waters of the spirit, right? Turning black as in, death or darkness, okay? And people spiritually dying as a result, the heavenly waters. Just saying, that's also something to consider. And the eighth sign, you will see many youth who wear their hair long like our people come and join the tribal nations to learn our ways of wisdom. They say hippies, but the Bible talks about a woman's hair is her covering, and that if she cuts her hair, that it brings her shame. Well, the Holy Spirit is feminine. So them wearing their hair long like their people, it's talking about spiritual hair. Remember Samson, when his hair is cut, he lost his power in the Bible? I think it's talking about our spiritual hair. So, just saying. And this is the ninth and last sign. You'll hear of a dwelling place in the heavens above the earth that shall fall with a great crash. It will appear as a blue star. Very soon after this, the ceremonies of the Hopi will cease. This is the waters above the firmament, right? The courts of the heavens, perhaps, right? Consciousness crashing down. These are the signs of great destruction is here. The world shall rock to and fro. The white men will battle people in other lands. Those who possess the first light of wisdom, there will be many columns of smoke and fire, such as the white man has made in the deserts not far from here. Those who stay and live in the places of the Hopi will be safe. There will be much to rebuild, and soon, very soon afterward, Pahana will return. He shall bring with him the dawn of the fifth world. He shall plant the seeds of his wisdom in our hearts. Even now the seeds are being planted. These shall smooth the way to the emergence into the fifth world. And the fifth world would be like 5D, right? 5D ascension. Okay? That would be my opinion of it. And you can see Prophecy Rock here, depicting all of this. I'm going to actually go to... Where is it at here? Right here. The story of the Blue Kachina. And this is one of the better prophecies that you'll find out there, honestly. It says here, the story of the Blue Kachina, is a very old story. I've been aware of the story of the Blue Kachina since I was very young. I was told this story by grandfathers who are between 80 and 108 years of age. Frank Waters also wrote about Sasquatch, the Blue Star Kachina, in the Book of the Hopi. The story came from Grandfather Dan, the oldest Hopi. It was told to me that the first Blue Kachina would start to be seen at the dances and would make his appearance known to the children in the plaza during the night dance. This event would tell us that the end times are very near. Then the Blue Star Kachina would physically appear in our heavens, which would mean that we were in the end times. and I would love to pull up the Book of the Hopi. I used to have it. It was told to me that the first blue kachina, in the final days we will look up in our heavens and we will witness the return of the two brothers who helped create this world and the birthing time. Palganhoya is the guardian of our North Pole, and his brother Palanga'ahoya is the guardian of the South Pole. In the final days, the blue star Kachina will come to be with his nephews, and they will return the Earth to its natural rotation, which is counterclockwise, and that would be Enki and Enlil, right? And the nephews, to me, would be like the Ajiji, like Marduk and the Ajiji, which would probably be humanity, or the descendants of the gods, the elect, the remnant. The fact is evidenced in many petroglyphs that speak of the zodiac, and within the Mayan and Egyptian pyramids, the rotation of the earth has been manipulated by not-so-benevolent star beings. The twins will be seen in our northwestern skies. They will come and visit to see who still remembered the original teachings in their patuvotas, or flying shields. They will bring many of their star family with them in the final days. The return of the blue star Kachina, who is also known as Nangasohu, will be the alarm clock that tells us of the new day and new way of life, a new world that is coming. This is where the changes will begin. They will start as fires that burn within us, and we will burn up with desires and conflict if we do not remember the original teachings and return to the peaceful way of life. Not far behind the twins will come the purifier, the red Kachina, who will bring the day of purification. On the day the earth, her creatures, and all life as we know it will change forever. There will be messengers that will precede this coming of the purifier. They will leave messages to those on earth who remember the old ways. The messages will be found written in the living stone, through the sacred grains, and even the waters. It says crop circles have been found in ice. Even from the purifier will issue forth a great red light. All things will change in the manner of being. Every living thing will be offered the opportunity to change from the largest to the smallest thing. Those who return to the ways given to us in the original teachings and live a natural way of life will not be touched by the coming of the purifier. They will survive and build the new world. Only in the ancient teachings will the ability to understand the messages be found. It is important to understand that these messages will be found upon every living thing, even within our bodies, even within a drop of our blood. All life forms will receive the messages from the twins. Those that fly, the plants, even the rabbit. The appearance of the twins begins a period of 7 years and will be our final opportunity to change our ways. Everything we experience is all a matter of choice. Many will appear to have lost their souls in these final days. So intense will the nature of the changes be that those who are weak in spiritual awareness will go insane, for we are nothing without spirit. They will disappear, for they are just hollow vessels for anything to use. Life will be so bad in the cities that many will choose to leave this plane, some in whole groups. Only those who return to the values and the old ways will be able to find peace of mind. For in the earth we shall find relief from the madness that will be all around us. It will be a very hard time for women with children, for they will be shunned. And many of the children in these times will be unnatural, some being from the stars, some from past worlds. Some will even be created by man in an unnatural manner and will be soulless. Many of people in this time will be empty in spirit. They will have sampaku, no life force in their eyes. As we get close to the time of the arrival of the purifier, there will be those who walk as ghosts through the cities, through canyons they have constructed in their man-made mountains. Those that walk through these places will be very heavy in their walk. It will appear almost painful as they take each step, for they will be disconnected from their spirit and the earth. After the arrival of the twins, they will begin to vanish before our eyes like so much smoke. Others will have great deformities, both in the mind and upon their bodies. There will be those who would walk in the body that are not from this reality, for many of the gateways that once protected us will be opened. There will be much confusion between sexes and children and their elders. Life will get very perverted, and there will be little social order. In these times, many will ask for the mountains themselves to fall upon them just to end their misery. Still others will appear as if untouched by what is occurring. The ones who remember the original teachings and have reconnected their hearts and spirit, those who remember who their mother and father is, the Pahana who have left to live in the mountains and forest. When the purifier comes, we will see him first as a small red star, which will come very close and sit in our heavens watching us to see how well we have remembered the sacred teachings. This purifier will show us many miraculous signs in our heavens. In this way, we will know Creator is not a dream. Even those who do not feel their connection to Spirit will see the face of Creator across the sky. Things unseen will be felt very strongly. Many things will begin to occur that will not make sense, for reality will be shifting back in and out of the dream state. There will be many doorways to the lower world that will open at this time. Things long forgotten will come back to remind us of our past creations. All living things will want to be present for this day when time ends, and we enter the forever cycle of the fifth world. We will receive many warnings, allowing us to change our ways from below the earth as well as above. Then one morning in a moment, we will awaken to the red dawn. The sky will be the color of blood. Many things will then begin to happen that right now we are not sure of their exact nature, for much of reality will not be as it is now. There will be many strange beasts upon the earth in those days, some from the past and some that we have never seen. The nature of mankind will appear strange in these times as we walk between worlds, and we will house many spirits even within our bodies. After a time, we will again walk with our brothers from the stars and rebuild this earth, but not until the purifier has left his mark upon the universe. No living thing will go untouched here or in the heavens. The way through this time, it is said to be found in our hearts, and reuniting with our spiritual self, getting simple and returning to living with and upon the earth and in harmony with her creatures, remembering that we are the caretakers, the fire keepers of the spirit. Our relatives from the stars are coming home to see how well we have fared in our journey. The pictures enclosed in this presentation are of the human beings of my Hopi grandfathers. They were telling you truth. There is still time for you to change. How about that? How about that? In the sky, we still have time to change our patterns and change our ways. When we no longer see it in the sky, it will be the sign that we have very little time left, perhaps 18 months before the purifier returns. Wow, so why we can still see the twins, the comet up there with two tails, which could be not Haley Bop, but another comet, right? We know that there's been many large celestial bodies, and we probably have another celestial body that they were actually talking about. Maybe the one that double asteroid redirection test is trying to redirect, right? Because that is a binary system, right? Didymus and Dimorphos. But who knows, right? Who knows? Maybe it's, Nemesis and its moon Apophis. Who knows? The purifier will appear as a red kachina. Maybe that means it will appear red in the telescopes that scientists use. It will remain almost in one place for a long time, like an eye watching us. Or, infrared, right? From the iron oxide, the iron ore, whatever it is that it's made up of, okay? And that's why. Or because it's at such a long distance away, it'll appear to be still. Right here you can see, this is a NASA photo of a new red dwarf star discovered. Okay. That's when the Sasquatch, that's the one called the Blue Star, will also return. Sasquatch is benevolent, but the others will not be so. When the others come, there will begin the war in the heavens, as we have been told. The elders have let it be known the Red Cheetah comet will be here in 7 years from the conclusion of Halley-Bob's appearance. The comet discovered in 95 was seen by millions. Wow, which that reminds me of that leaked CIA audio where he's talking about the Nemesis system and wearing the lead helmets and all of that shit, and that he mentions that Halley-Bob was like how the elites knew that the Nemesis system was about to come into range, basically, right? So let's go over here now. All right. Into some of the Zeta stuff. And maybe let's take a look at some of these answers here. Recently, the Earth, and this is increasing in speed here. Okay, this is from Zeta Talk. It does look like an eye, but remember, there's a red eye on Jupiter, and Saturn has a hexagonal north pole. It's known as the all-seeing eye, and if you look at it in its rings, it's the bearded star or the eye of Sauron. So, I mean, there's a few different possibilities there. I just want to state that. I believe that, we're talking about Saturn and Jupiter more than likely. I'm just, I'm keeping it real. So, and if it's another body, it could be Venus, or Mars or whatever. I don't know. Or perhaps Pluto is Nemesis. There's a million possibilities on this. Nobody knows till they know. And we're all sitting here chilling with the same perspective here on Earth. So that's the crazy part about it. We're all speculating and we're all guessing, ultimately at the end of the day. But we can make our best guesses, really. There is coincidentally a gang called the Zetas. Yeah, well, there's a lot of gangs called a lot of fucking things, man. So I don't know. And we know that, gangs, they are most definitely, they're named significant names for a reason. They usually have spiritual meanings, spiritual connotations too. So who knows? But somebody requested money from me. Sorry, bro. I think you sent a request. I can't pay you to watch the show. I do apologize. That's funny. I'm not gonna put you out there who you are, but that's funny. All right, here we go. This is the Q&A for the August 31st chat. And this is pertaining to the Earth and its increasing speed here. So let's take a look at that, all right? The increasing speed of the Earth. Now it says that recently the Earth has been increasing in speed. In 2020, the Earth saw its shortest month that has ever been measured since the 1960s. The shortest day of all time was measured that year. 1.47 milliseconds under 24 hours on the 19th of July. Is this cover up for rotation stoppage in the last weeks? And from another, the Earth broke its record for the shortest day, and effects could be devastating. July 29th, 2022. And I did just see something talking about the shortest day, in the history as well. So, very strange that that's being included in this. And I can pull up the article here if you guys want to see, but it broke the record for the shortest day. The planet completed a full spin on the 29th of June 2022 in a time that was 1.59 milliseconds, a little over 1,000th of a second, shorter than its standard 24-hour rotation. It nearly broke the barrier again this month, with the 26th of July being 1.5 milliseconds shorter than 24 hours. Recently, the Earth has been increasing in speed in 2020, and the Earth saw its shortest month that had ever been measured since the 60s. The shortest day of all time was measured that year, 1.47 milliseconds under 24 hours, on the 19th of July. But when looked all over much longer periods, Earth's spin is slowing. Every century, the Earth takes a couple of milliseconds longer to complete one rotation. The Earth continues to spin at an increasing rate. It would lead to the introduction of a negative leap second in order to keep the rate that the Earth orbits the Sun consistent with the measurement from atomic clocks. Why would the Earth spinning slightly faster these past couple years? And how significant is 1.59 millisecond per day increase? Is it normal for the Earth to slow down at an almost infinitesimal rate, requiring the insertion of a leap second periodically to keep mankind's atomic clock in sync with reality? The solution for a slight increase in rotation speed is once again the leap second solution in reverse. But the Nibiru cover-up is a flap over this and any issues that can scientifically show the wobble effect. Nibiru is drawing closer, and its influence on Earth's rotation is thus increasing stronger. The North Pole of Nibiru is repelling the North Pole of Earth when they face off against each other, and when the North Pole of Earth is retreating over the horizon, the push from Nibiru will increase the rate of rotation. The lean to the east that happens daily during the wobble after the polar push facilitates this retreat, also causing increased rotation speed. Given the contortions that the Earth will go through at the time of the pole shift approaches, a millisecond increase in rotation time is hardly an issue. And this guy on YouTube named OG Shadow talks about zetas. Well, I really like to, get hooked up with some new creators and, have them on. Honestly, I was talking to somebody that's from my area. I live in the Cincinnati, Ohio area that, had channeled some messages and, wrote a book. Trying to get them on the show. I'm trying to bring different people on the show, different perspectives, that way people don't just have to, hear me and what I think, So, moving forward here. And I don't even know if I want to read this, but this is over Taiwan. Why are they sending double Nancy to Taiwan? All this war talk. What's the point? The Zeta previously stated that Pelosi is now a double under the direction of junta. The junta's purpose is arranging for the Pelosi double visit Taiwan. The Chinese Communist Party believes Taiwan is part of Greater China and not a separate sovereign entity. The CCP vigorously opposes any action that would recognize the independence of Taiwan, especially official visits by high-ranking politicians. Can the Zetas please explain why Pelosi's double visit to Taiwan was necessary given its obvious effect of antagonizing China? And from another non-threatening, U.S. warns China not to use Pelosi's expected Taiwan trip to escalate tensions. The U.S. urged China not to use a potential trip to Taiwan by House Speaker Pelosi to escalate military tensions in the region, saying the senior Democrat had every right to visit the island nation. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby said that while the U.S. military was providing Pelosi with aircraft from her Asian travels, such a decision was ultimately hers. The Chinese Communist Party regards self-ruled Taiwan as a breakaway province that must be united with the mainland. And from another, Pelosi arrives in Taipei as China sends fighter jets to the Taiwan Strait August 3rd. Pelosi, the U.S. House Speaker, landed in Taiwan late, defying threats of retaliation from Beijing and criticism that her trip was reckless and provocative, which it clearly was provocative, right? She did it on her own accord. And what's all this double shit? Are they trying to say that she's like, she's basically a clone? she's like a sim, an AI now, that she's not even herself, you know, and I would believe that shit. I believe they can copy your consciousness without a doubt. You know, they have, we have neural chips and networks and quantum computation and all of that. I have no doubt that they can, and through all the data mining, that they can copy a person's consciousness, onto some type of quantum drive, and they could simulate every last aspect of our body down to our nervous system and everything. So there's no doubt they can build a sim or a copy of us that's artificial totally, and even put our own consciousness inside of it. The one thing it would lack would be a spirit, though. But I don't think they even need to go that route. I think when they destroy the pineal and you have that graphene substance introduced into your body, that it creates that crystalline grid, and the hydrogel essentially filling every crack and crevice of your body, allows that self-replication process to take place, and it goes throughout your entire nervous system, up your spinal cord, into your brain, essentially destroying your conscious center, in your third eye or your pineal gland, turning you into a transhuman. So, and I think there's advanced stages of that as well, right? So, I think some people, most people, the 90% of the population that capitulated to that agenda were given something to kill them, actually. But there are those that have the lace that are meant for, longevity, right? They're able to be controlled remotely, essentially, and that they are going from organic to inorganic beings, from nanobots, that probably come in the form of some really microscopic parasite that gets within you and self-replicates. Because remember that any type of parasite or whatever has the ability of parthenogenesis, right? The ability to self-replicate asexually. So, who knows how they're doing all this? I'm just saying, I do believe that, they do create doubles. And I've had experiences, I won't go into detail, during my time as a targeted individual, where I have seen that they can use technology to control your nervous system, your facial gestures and movements, as well as your emotion, the way you think. And we know that, MK Ultra mind control, they create these altars through trauma, right, within your brain, which essentially are conflict points, where the synapses fire, creating, these different altars in your mind, or, to reroute the way that you think, it shortens memory and creates a different flow of activity within the mind. You apologize for the caps. You swear you weren't screaming. That's so funny. They're messing with you again. Every other word blanked out. Well, I'm recording it, so. Also, please drop a link to John's Discord for all to visit. Yeah, guys, I will drop a link to the Discord, one of the chats for everybody, if you are interested in joining us, the Best Damn Podcast Discord. We've got well over 1,000 members in our Discord, and I do private shows weekly. So I might do a private show there tomorrow and do the dream video and just post it as a premiere. I still got a couple part 2s, the Return of Planet X part 2. I got a couple of part 2s. The Hidden Hand part 2. I like to do, those kind of things where I do multiple videos on something, because instead of doing one 5-hour video, I'd rather do a couple, 1 or 2 hour videos. It's better that way for me. But maybe tomorrow we will do a private show on Discord. And that will be and I'm resetting all the Discord roles today. So to get the Best Damn Fam upgrade, you have to donate and support in the month of August. So everybody who has supported, you just mention at John Keane, and put that you need the upgraded role. If you belong to Patreon or YouTube channel membership, it should upgrade your role automatically. And I let everybody in to watch on Discord that has supported, but to get the full playlist and all that stuff, it's $35 a month. So just keep that in mind, those who are interested. And the extended readings will be added this week for the month of August as well, to Patreon, YouTube channel memberships, and people will be able to purchase those individually. And anybody who I owe a reading to, make sure you text me, let me know. Sometimes I just forget, especially if it's been, a while back and I got busy or sidetracked. Some people donate and don't say that they did it for a reading and then want the reading a month later type shit. So if that's the case or whatever, please let me know, because that way I don't want to owe nobody anything or anything like that. So I like to book the reading the same day or within 24 hours. So, whenever you pay, make sure you put tarot reading so we can set it up immediately. Moving forward here, Zeta Talk Q&A. We're going to go down here. We're not even going to go into this one. Sorry, we're not going to go into this one at all. I don't care about that. Don't care about that assassination. It's not my thing. We're going to go to pole shift, though, here. The Zetas talk about cataclysmic changes described in a Zeta vision given to Nancy. Sudden impact prediction. And let's go how the comic's tail sweeps. Right here. The tail of the giant comet, as it travels out in space, meets almost no resistance. It's composed of debris attracted to a trail after a comet, not only from the days of when comets formed, but as it travels, picking up stragglers in space attracted to its gravitational pull. The tail is dust, gases, stones, boulders, and moons, depending on the size and composition of the entourage at any given point. Nothing much affects this out in space. On the long arc, the 12th planet makes its zooms away from the Earth and floats into the darkness of outer space. All this changes when the comet enters your solar system. The solar wind, a bombardment of radiation your eye cannot see except as light, pushes the tail outward away from the sun. Thus, the comet's tail sweeps the Earth, dust, gases, stones, and boulders and all. What is the effect? The comet's moons hug close, so do not come in range, but all else is a massive onslaught on the Earth's atmosphere. And that comet's tail is not just dust, gas, and boulders. That's a literal plasmatic ionization from that thing moving through space or whatever. It's plasma, so it's an ionized tail, in my opinion. It's pure electromagnetic energy. It's not what mainstream science believes at all. And in my opinion as well, when I talk about the cosmic cycles, that's where I believe meteors come from, right? Is through crustal displacement, those gases escaping from the crust, heating and being charged up from the plasma, entering in through the destabilized magnetic field and the cosmic rays and all that from solar maximums and CMEs. Then those gases escape and they get trapped at the top of the ionosphere from the greenhouse gas effect, and they're heated. Right, and as they go back down and cool, whatever gases they are, whether they're sulfur or whatever, right, they begin to cool, and then they turn back into the base metal or minerals that they're actually made of and fall back to the Earth as rocks, as meteors. So that would actually explain, flat Earth, hollow Earth, round Earth, however you want to look at it. No space, space is water. It explains all of it. My theory explains the whole shit. You can't poke holes in it in any way, shape, or form, no matter what your belief is. And I believe we live in a closed system. So that's just my opinion. You're more than welcome to agree or disagree. So I'll leave that to you. And I would love to know what your thoughts are as far as that goes, too. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think we live in a closed system, or not? So drop links. Let me pull up a Discord link for everybody while I got you guys in the chat here too. See if I can drop a Discord link for you guys. And I want everybody in the chat room to make sure that they're hitting that like and that thumbs up. Please, please, please do that for me. It really does help me a lot, just to let you know. Let's see if we can share this link here. I think I might have to do it through the computer. I might do it at the end of the show if I can't do it right now. Oh, shit. Yeah, looks like I'm going to have to do it at the end of the show, guys. But either way, invite. Here we go. I gotcha. Share the link. Number to expire. Share. Copy. All right, here we go. I'm going to drop the Discord link in the chat for everybody. So here you go. Make sure to join the Best Damn Podcast Discord. It's free to join. So just letting you know. There it is for everybody to check out. Let's go to some of this other stuff too. I'm almost feeling like now would be a good time to start wrapping up. But I'm not sure I want to. Not sure I want to. I feel like there's still so much to talk about. So much to cover, and we still got, I want to get into a lot of the precession of the equinox and these different astrological beliefs too, because they're so important, and they go hand in hand with a lot of the things that, we do talk about here on this channel. So that may be something for a part 2, but we're going to go ahead and at least get started in this direction and see where it goes. The precession of the equinoxes, and these are 26,000 year precession periods. So these are, great cycles here. In astronomy, axial precession is gravity-induced slow and continuous change in the orientation of an astronomical body's rotation axis. In particular, it refers to the gradual shift in the orientation of the Earth's axis of rotation like a wobbling top. Traces out a pair of cones joined at their apices in a cycle of approximately 26,000 years, called a great or Platonic year in astrology. The term precession typically refers only to the largest secular motion. Other changes in the alignment of Earth's axis, mutation, and polar motion are much smaller in magnitude. Right, and here's the 26,000 year precession period, and that's what I believe we're at the end of. We're at the end of a large, great cycle or precession. It was historically called precession of the equinoxes because the equinoxes move westward along the ecliptic relative to fixed stars, opposite to the motion of the sun along the ecliptic. The term is still used in non-technical discussions, that is, detailed mathematics are absent. Historically, Hipparchus is credited with discovering precession of the equinoxes. The exact dates of his life are not known, but astronomical observations attributed to him by Ptolemy date from 147 BC to 127 BC. With the improvements in the ability to calculate the gravitational force between planets during the first half of the 19th century, it was recognized the ecliptic itself moved slightly, which named planetary precession as early as 1863, while dormant component was named lunisolar precession. The combination was named general precession instead of precession of equinoxes, and lunisolar precession is caused by gravitational forces of the moon and sun on Earth's equatorial bulge. I was just talking about that bulge earlier. Causing Earth's axis to move with respect to inertial space. Planetary precession, actually in advance, is due to the small angle between the gravitational force of the other planets on Earth and on its orbital plane, or the ecliptic, causing the plane of the ecliptic to shift slightly relative to inertial space. Lunisolar precession is about 500 times larger than planetary precession. In addition to the moon and sun, the other planets also cause a small movement of Earth's axis in inertial space, making the contrast in the terms lunisolar versus planetary misleading. So in 2006, the International Astronomical Union recommended that dormant component be renamed the precession of the equator and the mirror component be renamed precession of the ecliptic, but their combination is still named in general precession. The age of Aquarius, which is actually what we are in now, entering into the age of Aquarius. We are allegedly in the age of Aquarius, according to astrological mysticism. There will be unusual harmony and understanding in the world. Those who follow that belief system see it as a turning point in human consciousness, in which balance is restored by consciously moving beyond the physical body. And that's because we're moving past the Saturnian or the Saturn moon matrix, right, into Uranus and Neptune, which is outside of the bounds of Saturn or the construct of Saturn. You know, Saturn's the womb or the matrix. So we're moving into consciousness, the heaven, the courts of the heavens. The Aquarius symbol is a metaphoric in content, meaning closure and water. Water represents a collective unconsciousness or consciousness hologram, which creates grid programs of our physical reality. Many connect the age of Aquarius with the return of the goddess, priestess, or feminine energies that vibrate above faster than the physical frequency. This is a return to higher consciousness, the awakening of higher mind and thought in the alchemy of time. And you know what, guys? I do have something that I thought would be cool, but I don't know if you've you noticed I took down a lot of my past videos. Why is that? It's because I got a bunch of strikes on both of my channels. If you go to JohnBoy513, which is under featured channels on Best Damn Podcast Official and Best Damn Podcast 2, you can find a lot of my older videos, and you can also find them on the Best Damn Podcast Facebook page as well. You should be able to find them on DLive and Twitch, BitChute, Rumble. So, Twitter, you just got to look around, man. I had to take them down from YouTube because YouTube kept giving me strikes. They gave me 2 copyright strikes and a community guideline strike on both of my channels at the same time. So, and I'm using 3 channels right now on YouTube. JohnBoy513 being the third one. And they're shutting all 3 of them down every time at the same time. So, it is what it is. I'm just like, fuck it at this point. We're just going to continue to keep doing what we do. I want everybody to go join the Discord too. Please, make sure you join our Discord. It really is important. We need all the people to participate that we can get, I think that we are to the point I'm looking at a few of these stories here. The calendar's creation myths, gods and goddesses. I almost want to save it for tomorrow, but the ancient and lost civilizations that follow the same patterns or algorithmic designs of simulation of reality. They begin with creation myths about a pantheon of gods or aliens who came from the sky and created humans, saying they would one day return. Within each civilization, one finds a societal hierarchy, religious beliefs and mythical gods, scientific accomplishments, enigmatic structures that align with celestial objects, and grid points on the planet. And finally, cataclysmic events that lead to end-time scenarios. Civilizations appear to come and go sometimes with no explanation at all, making them inserts in the simulation that we believe is real in the illusion of time. In our current version of the simulation, one sees the breakdowns of all systems with an internal knowing that it's all going to collapse in the not-too-distant future, thus following the algorithm on the journey of humanity in linear time. So let's take a look at some of these different ancient and lost civilizations. We will start with, let me close some of this out here. And keep in mind, astrologically, we have a Saturn sighting, which is the dragon, a meteor shower, and the last supermoon. It's all happening this month. And, this is the, Leo's time here. So it's hard to top July's exoplanet excitement, but August will try. Not only is this the last month to catch one of 2022's 3 supermoons, it's also the beginning of several lunar missions with one of the 3 best meteor showers mixed in. Some of the month's night sky events, such as Saturn's moment in the limelight, will be improved with stargazing gear such as telescope or binoculars. Like the Perseids meteor shower can be witnessed with the naked eye. As always, finding a dark sky place will increase your shooting star odds. On August 2nd, South Korea's first moon mission. August 11th, the final supermoon of 2022. August 11th, which will be 9/11, by the way, right? Or 8/11, excuse me. Or the last of 2022's 3 supermoons, 8/11/22. So, this month's full moon, nicknamed the Sturgeon Moon by Native Americans due to the sturgeon fish caught around this time of year, will appear a touch larger and brighter than the typical full moon. It reaches its brightest point near sunset in the northern hemisphere. So the Sturgeon Moon. August 11th to the 12th, the Perseid meteor showers peak. And the 14th, Saturn reaches opposition. Admire Saturn in a rare light on August 14th as the ringed planet reaches opposition, a time when it's larger and brighter than usual. According to Sky at Night magazine, opposition happens when Earth sits smack dab between a planet and the sun. Take the moon, which reaches opposition during each full phase. Saturn's opposition occurs about once per year, and you can admire Saturn with a telescope or at the very least binoculars starting at twilight in the southeast sky on August the 14th. That's something pretty cool. The 29th, a potential Artemis Rocket 1 launch. And that's that for the sky events. But Saturn's opposition is very cool. Something to definitely take a look at. We'll start here with the Dogon tribe. The Dogon are an ethnic group living in the Central Plateau region of Mali in West Africa, south of the Niger Bend, near the city of Bandigara in Burkina Faso. The population numbers between 400,000 and 800,000. They speak the Dogon languages, which are considered to constitute an independent branch of Niger-Congo language family. The Dogon are best known for their religious traditions, origin story, their mask dances, wooden sculpture, and their architecture. The past century has seen significant changes in social organization, material culture, and beliefs of the Dogon, partly because Dogon country is one of Mali's major tourist attractions. The principal Dogon area is bisected by the Bandigara Escarpment, a sandstone cliff up to 500 meters or 1,640.42 feet high, stretching about 150 kilometers or 90 miles. To the southeast of the cliff, the sandy Sino-Kondo Plains are found, and northwest of the cliff are the Bandigara Highlands. Historically, Dogon villages were established in the Bandigara area in consequence of the Dogon's people's collective refusal to convert to Islam 1,000 years ago. Dogon insecurity in the face of these historical pressures caused them to locate their villages in defensible positions along the walls of the escarpment. The other factor influencing their choice of settlement location is water. The Niger River is nearby and in the sandstone rock. A rivulet runs at the foot of the cliff at the lowest point of the area during the wet season. Among the Dogon, several oral traditions have been recorded as to their origin. One relates to their coming from Mande, located to the southwest of the Bandigara escarpment near Bamako. According to this oral tradition, the first Dogon settlement was established in the extreme southwest of the escarpment of Kanina. Archaeological and ethno-archaeological studies of the Dogon region were especially revealing about the settlement and environmental history and about social practices and technology in this area over several thousand years ago. Over time, the Dogon moved north along the escarpment, arriving in the Senga region in 15th century. Other oral histories place the origin of the Dogon in the west beyond the river Niger, or tell of the Dogon coming from the east. It's likely that the Dogon of today combined several groups of diverse origin who migrated to escape Islamization. So there you have that. It is often difficult to distinguish between pre-Muslim practices and later practices, though Islamic law classified them and many other ethnicities of the region, Masi, Garma, Bobo, Busa, and Yoruba, as being within the non-canon Darla Harb, consequently fair game for slave raids organized by merchants. As the growth of cities increased, the demand for slaves across the regions of West Africa also increased. The historical pattern has included the murder of indigenous males by raiders and enslavement of women and children. That is fucking sad. And see the images here. The area composed of three distinct topographical regions: the plains, the cliffs, and the plateaus. Wow. And within these regions, the Dogon population of 300,000 is most heavily concentrated along 200 kilometers stretch of escarpment cliffs of Bandigara. And you know what? I see the skull and bones there. You know, and that's the thing. On the waters of the heavens, right? You know, one can become easily enslaved, especially if they have Aboriginal or Native beliefs, you know, because it's such a hierarchical system, you know. And those who aren't in order with kind of the Saturnian matrix, you know, usually find themselves on the short end of the stick, just to keep it real, you know. And I hate to say it, you would think that those who are willing to think outside of the box and aren't willing to take vows or oaths, and you know, who put their energy and their effort towards ascending, you know, past the bounds and limitations of the Saturn matrix, you know, would be the last people you would want to enslave. But that's not how the way it goes. You know, it's like if you don't fall into line or fall in order, you know, because there is such a hierarchical structure, you know, in those waters, in those heavens, then, you know, you'll become victimized to it, you know. And that's what I think pushes most people, you know. And that's why Earth is a school, really, right? Like, we're learning here how to handle the astral realm, you know, the rules and the laws of consciousness, of the ethers. Because I'm pretty sure on the other side, you know, on the other side of the veil, that entities are not so forgiving. You know, we know that our world has a carnivorous nature, right? And we eat animals, animals eat bugs, bugs eat plants. Spiritually, it's the same way. You have the Ka and the Ba. The lower self eats the higher self eats the lower self, and, you know, there are heavenly hosts and host bodies and Lord of hosts, and, you know, it's all like an ecosystem. So those that aren't in order within the Saturnian system, it's like they're fair game, right? There's the Father of creation, the All-Father, God, provides that shelter, right? And if we claim our rightful spot as heirs to that God, to that Father, that kingship, we ourselves become princes and kings, and we ourselves bring ourselves into our true royal lineage of where we come from, and we inherit all that was meant for us. But outside of that, there's no structure or influence or guidance even, and you can be taken advantage of, big time in the astral, big time in the heavens, big time in the courts of heaven. And, trust me, I've experienced this firsthand. A rebellious spirit, you learn a lot of karmic lessons, put it that way. And you find that there are a reason that people create communities and brotherhoods and, and clubs and all of this, and churches and alliances, because you need it on the other side. Like, these are not the gangs of New York, but, it's like the gangs of the astral, the gangs of the spiritual world. And that's why there are war in heavens. It's like these clashes between entities, and their allegiances, to different gods and to different regions. In each region, each cardinal direction, has a ruler over it. That's why, the Anunnaki divided the earth into 4 regions. Think about it. North, south, east, west, and a different god presided over each individual region. And each individual region, those gods were, also responsible for different elements, 4 elements. I mean, so, in the way that we are born astrologically, the algorithm of us, we're made up more of one element than another. And genetically, our DNA carries more of one thing than another. Some of us are descendants directly from the gods, or specific gods, and some of us are closer to, pure native or aboriginal, and I think there's like a racist connotation to even the way we view the spirit realm, the way that we look at demons and angels and fallen angels, and those with a dark soul and those with a light soul, like just the same way we look at those with like red skin, brown skin, white skin, and yellow skin. It's like we need to start accepting that all of us come from the same source, and celebrate our differences and our uniqueness, instead of using it as a reason to divide and to conquer one another and create conflict with each other. But, and on the other hand, that conflict appears to be necessary, right? Because it's the conflict that actually holds our reality together. Positivity and negativity. And it's the conflict that stimulates growth, right? And acts as the antagonist for a lot of us to ascend higher than we would have otherwise, right? And we talked about that in yesterday's episode, the Hidden Hand interview, right? With the Yahweh social memory complex and the Lucifer social memory complex. How one represented light, the other represented negativity, and that they were used as iron to sharpen iron, if you will, right? To promote growth on each side. And I do believe that those who are illuminated, enlightened, especially at this point in time, the 144,000, those that are within the mysteries, those who have found illumination, activation, conscious expansion, whatever you will, and who haven't taken the mark and all of that, that they more than likely are probably part of that light complex or social memory complex, you know, which is like a form of an ascended master. And they probably did fall down here. You know, whether they did it on purpose or not, I don't know. If it's like the Bible says and we were tricked down here, I don't know. Or if it's like, you know, what the Hidden Hand interview says and the Lucifer complex chose to come down here. I don't know. But they definitely, that small group, you know, and we call them elites or, you know, the fallen 1/3 or whatever, they definitely do have a rank over that other social memory complex, which is the majority of the population, you know, that negatively polarized complex, which would be Yahweh complex or whatever. So that's why, you know, Lucifer is synonymous with money and luck and, you know, and love and all of the positive polarities. So we choose to align ourselves through the religions that we choose to believe, the political alignments that we choose to have, the customs and things that we choose to adopt, and the cultures that we choose to adopt within our life. Those are all different alignments spiritually. You know, and each one of those things, they have a spiritual essence, an origin, an archetype that is attached or associated with that. And each one of those archetypes have an associated energy, you know, and overall spirit. And your ancestors are part of those spirits and energies. And that determines, you know, the amount of energetic pool you have or magnetism you have in the spiritual realm, or the amount of support you have in the spiritual realm, depending on what you're associated with here in the physical, right? As above, so below. You know, what's bound on earth is bound in heaven, and vice versa. So we're here to learn on planet Earth as a school on how to be spiritual beings. Mind, body, and soul, complete beings. We're here to learn self-mastery in how to transcend the Ouroboros or the Vesica Pisces and break the karmic cycles, you know, and expand and evolve, you know, past the matrix or the school or the womb, if you will, and be born into the spiritual realm, the spiritual world. And out there, it is free will, you know. There is no protective bubble or firmament to keep, you know, entities from taking advantage of you and all of that. And at the end of these cycles, when our awareness and all of that increases, notice the Hopi prophecy says that there will be beings that haven't been here since the beginning or have never been here. That's because that protective bubble's gone, you know. And as our consciousness expands, you know, our weight class expands proverbially. So we're in a bigger weight class spiritually, and we're dealing with bigger spirits, principalities, powers, and dominions. And we have to understand that. And that's why it's important for us to not only stay in alignment and pursue Christ within ourselves, that anointing within ourselves individually, but to pursue others of like mind and align ourselves with others of like mind and create ties with and bonds with others of like mind. That way we have allies on the spiritual plane. You know, we have our Father and our nurturing Mother Spirit always to guide us, but we are the Son ourselves. You know, we all have that within ourselves, and we can choose to elevate into that Christhood, right? That anointing, and open ourselves up and fill ourselves up with the light. But when we do, we become a target for parasitic entities. And, you know, you need others to help fight this spiritual battle. You know, you can't do it alone, really. Even though the journey is a solo journey. You come into this world alone, you leave alone, you know, and all your spiritual work, in essence, is done alone. But when you have a tribe, it takes a tribe, right, to raise a child. And in essence, we're all birthing a spiritual child in this time. You know, what kind of child will you birth is the question. Something of the darkness or something of the light? You know, that's up to you totally. And it's on what you ingest It's on your thoughts that you have and your intentions and what you decide to create and who and what you align yourself with as far as, spiritual principles and schools of thought. So I want this community to be a place of an alliance, right? Where all of us have each other's back spiritually, where nobody's trying to put bad juju, so to speak, on one another within our community. I want everybody to be here. If you are a part of the Best Damn Fam in this community, spiritually, you are agreeing by becoming a part of it to do no harm to any other member of this community. By becoming a part of it, you are agreeing to, be loyal to those within it. Because we are a family, and there's no, this community doesn't accept, betrayal and disloyalty and backstabbing and harm to other members of the family. We're a family that is here to protect each other, to look out for each other, to help each other learn and grow, and to be unified in spirit, to make a bigger force, of protection and influence in our lives, to attract, not just protection and security and stability into one another's life, but to attract good luck into each other's lives, prosperity and abundance into each other's lives, love into each other's lives, passion, happiness, joy. That's what becoming a member of this family is meant to bring you, right? So, if you participate, you are agreeing to those terms, okay? So I just want people to know that. And you are agreeing to do no harm to anyone else that is a part of this family, including myself, right? And if you do, that will return to you, and you won't receive any of the benefits, because this is a family meant to protect each other and look out for each other on all the planes, including the astral, and in the heavens. We need people to back us up. We need people to love us for who we are, accept us for who we are, and let's be honest, if you're a part of this group, you're probably a black sheep. You're probably considered an outcast. You're probably different. You're probably eccentric. You're probably rebellious. You're probably, someone that, likes to learn things the hard way, or has been through a lot of trials and tribulations in life. You probably experienced a lot of loss and hardship, and you probably had to come up through experience, the hard way. And you've had to earn your stripes. But that just makes you stronger, makes you stronger. And the scars that you do have as a result make you more beautiful. And we've conquered so much together over the years. And, I try to show who I am each and every day, and I'm not always a beautiful and good person. Sometimes I'm a piece of shit, but so are you. We all have days, and we all do things that we're not proud of, or that don't exemplify our best side. And that's okay. We don't want false piety or, false righteousness or, any of that here. We want people to be who they truly are. That's unconditional love, is accepting someone as is, not as you want them to be or wish they would be. So, I want to just thank everybody for watching tonight. I'm going to go ahead and end this. I am definitely going to pick back up on this one and either do another part or just do a complete episode on the different cultures and stuff I was going to talk about tonight. I just had so much to cover, so much ground to cover. I do want to ask that everybody who watches this, whether you're in the chat or you catch this on the flip side, make sure you hit that like, get that thumbs up for me. It's very, very important. Make sure you comment. Let me know what you think. I want to hear your thoughts and opinions on things. Feedback is so key. I'm going to turn the comments off if people don't give feedback. I don't, everybody else on YouTube is doing it. I haven't done it because I want the feedback, but it's like, damn, it's like pulling teeth to get people to give an honest opinion about something anymore. So speak up if you want me to keep the comments on. Also, share the link. Whatever platform you found this on, and whatever social media that you engage on, share these links, your Facebook groups, retweet it, all of it, guys. I post all of these video links on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Reddit, every social media I belong to, I post it, so you can share my links if you don't want to share your own. Okay? Also, make sure to follow us on all the platforms. All the links are in the description. All our social media and content platforms, and also in the About section of YouTube. Check the community sections on our pages too. I put polls and memes and all types of cool stuff up all the time. And also, guys, remember, I am completely viewer powered here. So you fund this machine, you fund this channel. So if you enjoy the work, the content, and the energy that I put out, then consider, giving back and donating and supporting to me. It's how I'm able to run the channel, how I'm able to keep things going and to do all the different things I do, all the websites and servers and communities and, all the multi-streaming. That's how I pay for all that stuff, and this is also my livelihood. So this is how I take care of myself and my family and those I love. And, if I have an issue or a problem or anything like that, that's how it's taken care of, is, because you guys take care of me. So to those of you that do give or who will give and support financially, I want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I can't tell you how grateful I am, and I just want you to know that I have total gratitude to each and every one of you for watching, for engaging, and for supporting. It means so much, and for being a part of my family, this family, because this is my church, this is my family, my spirit family, and I hope it's yours too, and I hope you feel welcome here and loved here, because you are. And so make sure to subscribe, like, share, comment, donate. And if you have donated and you need the links to the private uncensored playlist, text 513-393-2396 or email therealbestdampodcast@gmail.com and put links. Make sure to text, though, if you can, for the links. It's way easier that way for me, and I'll send you the Dropbox links. Like I said, we just did a couple of new ones. I think I'll be doing a new private show tomorrow or the next day at the latest. So make sure to join the Best Damn Fam. Get access to us on Discord. Join our Discord. That's where we do the private shows. If you want to get a tarot reading, text that number too or email. They're $50 for the reading. You can book that. I do it within 24 hours of payment. So just put tarot in the little note or the receipt deal whenever you donate. And join us on Patreon or YouTube channel membership, and you'll get access to those playlists and extended readings and so much more. I've got so many cool videos coming up. Part 2s to Planet X video I just did. And so much is coming. It's crazy. So, astrology video for August, the extended tarot readings for August, as well as, a million other things coming. So make sure that you guys are checking back daily and checking back on all the platforms. And you know what? Check out the merch too. I design all that myself, and hit up the website too. That's got all the information from everywhere on it. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I don't see what the damn is about. Did I say something wrong? Did I do something wrong? I see somebody like, damn. Well, you know what? We went long tonight, so I've got a lot man. Every night, I'm coming correct. Every night. I've got a big show for you tomorrow. Trust me, we're going to get into all the good shit tomorrow. I swear to you. And we're going to be doing lots and lots of private shows and lots of just deep dives into everything. I'm bringing it all. I was so tired today before this video. Like, I got re-energized just by doing it. I've been working about 70, 80 hours a week for the last couple of weeks. So I've been working my fucking ass off. So I can feel that we're so close to something big. So tomorrow I will probably do my dream video with the dreams and visions and all of that, and we'll do a private show on Discord for those that are a part of the Best Damn Fam. So it's $35 a month if you're interested in joining, and you get free merch and all that cool stuff. So make sure to join. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Saul, Issei, Tim Hamby, Vlogs Gaming Music, Up Your 73, Ways Easy, Odette, Alana Harris, One Life Man, Mello, thank you so much. Icy, wow, a lot of comments there. I didn't see them. But thank you guys for watching, and I appreciate all of you so much, man. Hit that like, share, subscribe, support. Peace. Remember, Christ is the truth, the way, and the life. God bless you all. I love you, and I'll see you next time. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Peace.